I am so excited to be filming for you guys today on YouTube for the first time. I'm so normally if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, my handle is at FashowB, and that's BEE. You know that I do foundation reviews on there, and I just did one yesterday on the Kat Von D True Portrait Foundation, which I wasn't a fan of, and you can see my reaction on my story. God, I'm like one take Brie. That's my goal. My goal is to be one take Brie, that I only do one take. I post it so you guys can just get the real me full out. So sorry if I stutter and stumble and all of the above. I am just one take. So the first set of concealers, and let me just say this, when I find a concealer that I like, I typically buy anywhere between 2 to 4 colors, and the reason I do that is I need a color that I like to spot conceal with, a color that I use to clean my brows, a color that I like to use under my eye, and then a light color that I like to put on top of the under the eye for a little bit of a brighter under eye. So we're gonna go on my tried and true, and that is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. As you guys can see, I have them in 4 different colors. I have it in chestnut, I have it in walnut, this is caramel, and I have the last one in truffle. And this concealer is just, I dropped one. So creamy. It's like so nice. I mean, this one's almost already out, but like just look at that applicator. Like I like the doe foot applicator. I really feel like it gives you the ability to control how much product is going on your skin. And when you put on concealer under your eyes, here we go. You don't want it to be cakey because then it starts to like build and it just looks really thick under the eye. So I prefer a creamy concealer and one that I could actually control how much is going onto my face. And I think the doe foot applicator does that. I am going to go ahead and just show you guys like a quick swatch. So this is the color caramel, and just really quickly, like I just feel like it is just, oh, look at that. Just like super creamy. Super easy to put on. It blends out so nicely, and this is a concealer that blends out very well with either a sponge or a brush. So I don't ever feel like one does better than the other. I think they both do well with the concealer. I do believe for one of these sizes, it's $30 if I remember correctly. It does come in a plethora of shade ranges, so you can find anything from a very dark one to contour with if you are of darker complexion like myself, to even a fair one to highlight with if you are of a lighter complexion. You can get Nars at Sephora inside JCPenney. You can also order Nars from their website, and they use Afterpay. So if you are somebody like me who has a shopping addiction, but you don't want to spend the money all at one time, Afterpay lets you split your payments up into 4 different payments. So Nars is on Afterpay. So honey, I would just say buy as many as you can of these bad boys, Afterpay it, 4 payments, you're done. But yes, Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer is actually the first high-end concealer I'd ever purchased, and it's probably still going to be the only like major high-end concealer that I will consistently repurchase no matter what. The next concealer that I absolutely love, and it's the ones that I did my face with today, it is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. As you can see, I have these in 3 colors. This one is in Rich Ebony, this one is in Chestnut, and this one is in Cinnamon. Now, when I did my face today, I take Cinnamon and Rich Ebony, and I combine them. So I put the Cinnamon on my face first in my sections that I want to spot conceal, and then I go in with Rich Ebony and I go over those same dots and I blend them out with a brush to get a more fuller coverage, but it's still not that much makeup on my face. Like right now, my face feels clean. It feels like skin. It doesn't feel like I have super cakey makeup on because I don't. I literally just have on concealer today. And then I always top my under eye concealer with the chestnut color because it is a brighter concealer. This to me is a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And honestly, with the Shape Tape Concealer, which of course I have, I feel like you get a better blend than with this one. Now the Shape Tape, of course, comes in really great shades. I do like the Shape Tape for cleaning my brows. I feel like a little goes a long way with the Shape Tape, but honestly, this 16 Hour concealer for I think it was $5 to $7, let's just say that. For that price point, honestly, you can't beat it. So again, this has that doe foot applicator that I absolutely love. And I'm just going to swatch this for you. This is in the color Chestnut. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick little swatch right there. And just look how like creamy and just like full coverage that is off like just 1 to 1.5 swipes. And I will do a Tarte swipe next to it for comparison. And this is the Tarte. So as you can see, like the Tarte is a little bit more pigmented as far as color goes, and it does have a bit of a smoother texture. But again, for $5 to $7, I can't beat it. I won't even try to beat it. I think it's honestly one of my best concealers drugstore wise that I've used. So again, $5 to $7 for these guys right here, and about I think $16 or $18 for just one of these. You can get 3 of those for the price of 1. And honestly, I'm telling you right now, I swear by it. I don't ever tell you guys about things that I would not truly use myself. It is what I did use today to make my face. So hands down, the e.l.f. concealer is actually might be my top drugstore concealer. Now, our third concealer that we're going to talk about is going to be the Makeup Revolution concealers. And as you guys see, again, I always get them, like I said, in 3 colors, 1 to conceal, 1 to highlight, 1 to do coverage for under my eyes. This I have in the color C18, C13, and C15. And again, just like the e.l.f. concealers, I feel like these are really good concealers. They are a little thick. So I will say they're a bit thick. I do notice that if I try to use these, like I use the e.l.f. concealers, I do have to put them on and then spray them with a face spray. So I'll use like the Smashbox Photo Finish, or I'll use Mario Badescu Rose facial spray, because I do notice they can be a little thick and they can actually dry quite quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick swatch for you guys. So this is in the deepest color there, and that is that deep color. And if you notice, it's not as creamy. So see, it's like already kind of dry. It's not as creamy as these two here, but I mean, it gets the job done. C18 is pretty dark, so I tend to use it as like a contouring shade when I do my face. But I will also mix it with C15 like I do the e.l.f. one to do kind of like spot covering if I don't want to use a full face of foundation. These ones I believe run about $9, but you can always use that $3.50 off coupon at Ulta to pick these guys up. So why not pick up 2 or 3 of them and then get the $3.50 off for them? They are only sold at Ulta and online on their own website. So I would say that if you cannot get your hands on the e.l.f. concealers, which you can find at Walmart for the full shade range, Walmart is where you get them from. If you can't find those, then you can definitely try the Makeup Revolution ones. The next concealer that I want to go over is going to be the Huda Beauty concealers, and this is the Overachiever concealer. I have mine only in 2 color because I just use their very full coverage, so that it's just a lot full cover. It's a lot of full coverage, and I have them in the color Caramel Corn and Peanut Butter. So this one I don't like as much. Now let me just back up. It's still in my top 5 because of the full coverage. So it's a great concealer to clean my brows with, and a great concealer to sort of like give that extra oomph when I want to highlight. But I don't like the applicator. So it reminds me of those old school lip glosses you used to get when we were kids. Like, this is the applicator. Like, mine's hella dirty, obviously. But I just am not a fan of that applicator. And the product squeezes out, and I feel like when it comes to this, I can't really like determine how much product to use. Now a quick swatch of this concealer right here. And as you can see, like, it is pretty full coverage. You can already see that on there, but I'm not a fan of the applicator. I just feel like it's very hard to control how much concealer I'm putting on my face. And when you have a full coverage concealer like this, it can go real bad real quick. So you definitely can use this concealer with a brush. So like when I use it, I just squeeze the tube, squeeze the tube, and then I take like a I just take a flat like brush like this, and this is just like a Morphe M52 brush, like nothing fancy. And then I just pull it off the it's above me, y'all. I have to get my life together. But I just take a brush like that, and then I just go ahead and apply it to where I want it to go. That way I can control how much concealer is actually going on my face. Again, it is a good concealer. It's full coverage, so it's great for cleaning the brows. I do love it for that. I also, again, like to add it for an extra oomph on my face. But as far as like something I reach for all the time, I don't. I actually only use that for like really special occasions like weddings and like dinners and things like that, because I know I'm not going to sweat a ton and I'm not going to be moving a lot. Otherwise, I feel like it can cake up quickly and it can shift. I have had it kind of disappear from my nose and a little bit of my under eye or my glasses sit in times where I've been out and sweating. So I don't wear it like during the summer, only during, again, like special occasions and things that I know a lot of air flow is occurring. So that is the Overachiever concealer, which again is a full coverage concealer from Huda Beauty. I believe this concealer is $16. You can get it at Sephora. You can get it at Sephora inside JCPenney. Of course, the Huda Beauty website. But yeah, that is that one. And last but not least, for concealers that I have, it's going to actually be the Colourpop concealers. And this is just the no filter concealer. And as you can tell, like I'm actually almost already out of them. I have one in Deep Dark, and then I have, well, Deep Dark 54 and Deep Dark 56. So this is the applicator, sort of a doe foot, but just kind of like a double-sided doe foot applicator. And this is a concealer where I will use to spot conceal and kind of give me the illusion of a full face without committing to foundation. I like this concealer. It's $5. You can get it at Ulta on Ulta.com or on Colourpop.com. I feel like it blends very nicely. It is thin. It's not very full coverage. So you do have to kind of go in with multiple pieces of application to get yourself some full coverage off of this. But just a swatch of it really quickly. I just love, like, look at that concealer. It's one of my favorites, actually, and I probably should go get some more. I've just been super lazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and just swatch this other color for you guys really quickly. And I just like how they look. Like, they're very skin textury. Like, they look like your skin. Like, they're not cakey. They're not full coverage. They don't lose their coverage either as you use them. They don't like blend out and then it kind of like, did I even put concealer on? It actually really does show it stays. And so for $5, I feel like you generally cannot beat a concealer like this. I also feel like for $5, you get what you pay for. So that's why I was saying that you do have to sometimes add multiple layers depending on how much coverage you want. When I use this concealer, again, I'm just going for a light face, nothing too crazy, just running some errands. I'm going to come back home later on. So I do not expect a lot of coverage out of this, which is why I will forever repurchase this concealer. If I had to have my pick out of the top 5, of course, hands down, e.l.f. is going above and beyond. It's my favorite concealer. I would then, of course, come in a close second with the Colourpop one, and then my Nars Radiant Concealer, of course. That's just like a holy grail staple. I don't even know if I should really rank it because I know I'll never not use that concealer. But back to the Colourpop one, I love it. I think it's just really good for the price that you pay. It's a great last minute concealer to grab too. Like, I know I've had times where I've gone on trips and the concealer I brought wasn't the one that I wanted, or it just didn't do well, and I've ran to Ulta and grabbed one of these guys. And again, for $5, 15, no. For $5, you seriously cannot beat the coverage and just the way this goes on. So hands down, if you can get it, get you some Colourpop concealers, get you some e.l.f. concealers, some Makeup Revolution concealers. I use my concealers for a variety of things. Like I said, I use it to highlight, I use them to contour, I use them to spot coverage, I use them to clean my brows. So I do believe that a good concealer is a requirement in any girl's makeup bag, whether it is a full coverage concealer or just one that you keep with you. Personally, I am not a fan of like pot concealers unless they're for my brows. I don't put pot concealers under my eyes. Like, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Say pot concealer, like something like this, I don't put under my eye. It cakes up really badly and it's not really that great for under your eye. I will use a concealer like this for my eyelids, like to prep for eyeshadow, and then I may use it to clean my brows up. But other than that, I tend to stray away from pot concealers like this. It is liquid or die for me. So that is all that I have for you guys today for this concealer video. Leave me a comment down below if you guys want to see any other videos. Take care.